Shoot, where's my phone? Hey Siri. It's gone forever. Well, hello there. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. Today I'm going to be doing a June TBR Plan With Me video. So let's begin. Let's plan out the month of June for all the books that I want to get read. Okay, so the first book on my TBR is actually a pullover from last month. New Moon! Finished Twilight. I was bored a little bit by Twilight, so New Moon is interesting because I've only read it once. I am 160 pages in, and I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm still enjoying my reread of Twilight. I will do a video later on all of my spoilery thoughts and whether I still like the world or not. I mean, I love New Moon. I know a lot of people really hate this book, but I personally love it. I think, I don't know, the feels, the angst, I love it. Alright, next we have Oliver Twist. Hello, buddy. I know that Barnes & Noble is not always the best version of books to read, but I get all my books from the thrift store, and so that's what the option is. This was nowhere on my radar until I started watching Emma's channel. I'm sorry, girl. Very similar. Emma's channel, and she hosts the book club Tolstoy versus Dickens, or Dickens versus Tolstoy. I'm not sure which one it is. The point of this book club is to read a bunch of Tolstoy and to read a bunch of Dickens and then debate over which one of these authors is the best. I'm sure a lot of it is in jest because I think it would be really hard to pick between the two of them. And these are both authors that I haven't read a whole ton from. I mean, I've read more of Tolstoy than I have Charles Dickens. And it's on my list, I think, to read Oliver Twist this year, or at least something from Dickens. So for the month of June, they are reading Oliver Twist, and I thought, this is the perfect opportunity. All right, next we have Sense and Sensibility. Where are you, friend? Ah, here you are. I really do want to get to this. I think I'm finally more in a mood to read classics and to annotate them because I'm going to have 3 on this list. And I mean, I love the story of Sense and Sensibility. And I think I've just been reading other things. My brother and I decided to read The Assassin's Apprentice last month, so that's mostly where a lot of my time went. Also, I just am not having as much reading time set aside as I would like, so I'm trying to structure my time so that I have like an hour before bedtime to read a little bit. So hopefully that will help because I have a lot of books that like are physically needing to be read. So if not, then the only thing that might get physically read is Oliver Twist. Now we have Frankenstein. It's kind of a creepy cover. Next is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I totally forgot the author there. I know who wrote Frankenstein. Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley. That's a hard name to say over and over again. Say that's 5 times fast. Mary Shelley. Nope, 3 times. That's all I got. So we're going to be reading Frankenstein. We're going to be doing a deep dive of Frankenstein. The last time I read this book, I think I was 12. And I remember really loving it when I was 12. But I've changed a lot since I was 12. That was a long time ago. And I am really excited to see what my thoughts are on this. I have a couple of good friends who really don't like this book, so I'm interested to see what my opinions are. All right. We have Spirit Bound by Richelle Mead. This is the 5th book. I listened to the 4th book last time. I finished listening to the 4th book last month, and I liked the 4th book better than I remembered. There were still a lot of things in there that I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. This is weird and awkward. It's got a lot of the same problems that Twilight does, in the sense that, like, there's, like, grooming going on, and the relationship's really weird, and the power dynamic is off. But it is a good story. Same with Twilight. So, same problems. Anyway, I am working on finishing this series. So, Siri is a real word. It's my phone's name. Next, we have Divergent, which, like, on the freaking top shelf. Ugh. I'm too short for these shelves, IKEA, okay? Too short. And this month, I still want to read all of these YA things. So Divergent, still on this list. I just listened to The Hunger Games and loved it. And I remember really liking the first book in the Divergent series. So here's hoping we will continue liking that. Ooh. It's getting too tall. And then once more, The Hourglass Door by Lisa Mangum. I'm really excited for this one. I remember loving this book so much. I feel like looking back on it, having not read the series in like 5 years, I feel like looking back on it, I think this is the better version of Twilight, where there's no stalking, predatory, really old dude. So hopefully that pans out. I mean, don't hold me to my word, because it's been 5 years since I read this book and I've changed a lot since then. So I'm really hoping that this pans out and it holds up, because I remember like this was one of my favorite series as a teenager. Okay, next we have Mead in here. Avalon High. This is one of the few books that I've read by Meg Cabot, and I should really read more of her work because I absolutely adore Avalon High. I read it probably twice a year. It's definitely a comfort read for me. I love the audiobook, which I'll probably listen to it. But I love the narrator. I think she does a fantastic job. Yeah, I just love this story so much. This is a retelling of the King Arthur story set in a modern day world, and Elle discovers that her friends all seem to have very similar traits to King Arthur and Guinevere and Lancelot, and they all have very similar names, and people are rising to try and get rid of King Arthur, and she might possibly be the only one to help him, and she doesn't know if she believes it all, and it's just such a lovely story. If you haven't read it, you should definitely read it. Top 10 books for me. Man, is it still in the top 10? I don't know. Top 20 for sure. That knocked that down quite a peg. I don't know what my top 10 books would be. I'd have to think really long and hard about that. All right, the selection. You're way down here. Hello there. I've only read this series once. Next we have the selection. I've technically only read this series once, and I loved it. I read it 2.5 years ago. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, and it might not hold the same appeal since I know how everything goes this time. I mean, maybe not. It's been 2.5 years. I might have forgotten everything, but I know who she ends up with, so it's not like it's gonna be a surprise. I have picked this book up multiple times since then, but I haven't really been in a like prolonged YA angst state, which I am now, so who knows, maybe this will be the time. Series of Unfortunate Events, where are you? Okay. Penultimate Peril. And very finally, The Penultimate Peril by Lemony Snicket. This is book 12 in Series of Unfortunate Events. And the reason I'm picking this up is because a couple nights ago I dreamed that I was Violet, oh my gosh, can't even remember the name. So Violet Baudelaire, and I was in the hotel that they're in this book, and Mr. Poe showed up, and instead of being a complete idiot and a dunes, he pulled us aside and he's like, guys, that's Candle Love, let's go. And he like put us in the car and drove us away, and like, so he was actually a qualified real adult in that circumstance. And I woke up and I went, that's fiction, because Mr. Poe sucks. This story follows Violet, Claus, and Sunny Baudelaire as they try to figure out the secrets of VFD and figure out who they can trust and who they can't trust. I am loving my reread of Series of Unfortunate Events, and I have 3 books left because I have the 12th, the 13th, and then the unauthorized autobiography, which I tried to read as a 12-year-old kid and was thoroughly confused by because I didn't understand sarcasm, and most of it just went right over my head. But I own it now, and I'm really excited after having read this series to be able to dive into that and just find all of the snark and the humor. I think it's just going to be so fun. Man, I am super excited for this coming month. I am excited for classics. I'm excited for YA. I'm excited for trashy Twilight. Like, I'm here for it. So without further ado, I will talk to you all in the comments down below and in another video. Bye!